Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 18 of the Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this one. Before I start, I want to give a quick statement about all these questions about cheating and stuff. I guess, well, I mean, it's loading anyway. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, uh, like for me, I don't know. I'm probably the most open Leetcode account there is. Like pretty much 95% of my submissions here are on YouTube. Like you could probably like every submission you go through my account, you really want to. It probably go. There's a video for most of them. Maybe not the earlier ones, just because back then I didn't upload them. But and sometimes I debug other people's code using my account, and. So and that's just. And sometimes I do stuff off camera, like after I record it, just to like play around with optimizations. But I am the most open account, and like everything I say do, you know, if you and even when I cheat, you'll see it. And when I say what I cheat, what I mean is that I use templates and I will copy it and paste it in, and you'll see it. And I talk about it, so I don't think I'm hiding anything. And for ChatGPT. I only use it for getting templates for segment trees and not binary. No, I have my own binary tree. I mean, I also have my own segment tree template, but I gotta maybe put it in somewhere. But that's it. Besides the point. So yeah, so that's it. But I would also say that what shapes how I feel right now in general is that this is 2024, the election year is coming up, and you see a lot of rhetorics about and like just about politicians and politics in general, especially in the United States, right? And that's the thing is that when you really want to step back a second, you'll see that a lot of the stuff, a lot of how people write is kind of manipulative, right? Like they're trying to persuade you of a certain bias or whatever. And for me, I like that's just not my style. I mean, to some people, like feelings are important or whatever, and maybe to me it is important too. But for certain things, it's just about the facts, right? If you have an argument, whatever it is, whether someone's cheating, whether someone's not cheating, or whatever, like I said, just present the facts. And if the facts are there, then it doesn't matter what I feel, like, and it doesn't matter what another person feels. It doesn't matter who anyone feels whether they're cheating or not. The facts are there, then Leetcode hopefully will take action, right? The only people that it matters is the Leetcode people, right? Like it doesn't matter what I think. I could be right, I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter, right? Like you don't need my approval. You don't need my things. You shouldn't need my approval. I'm just a random guy on the internet. And my opinion is basically the same thing, right? And there are many components, different things, and just because one thing is true doesn't mean all of them are true. And it may be that all of them are true, but you just need to kind of have the facts there as well, right? Like you can't just be like, oh, this is obvious because of statistical whatever. I mean, that's a good inference, but it's not a proof, right? And I think some of it is that and it does come up in politics a lot, where a lot of people are just really bad at math. I mean, look around you. Think about the average person that the most average person think about how good they are in math, and then the other half of the person, like half of everyone else, are even worse in math. And and this is kind of my bias as well, right? Is that I have a degree in math, applied math even, so there's a statistics component. It's not a brag, it's just it is what it is. But when you see bad math, it's very clear, right? And like bad statistics, it is what it is. And and I would also say this is the other thing, right? Is that appeal to emotions is kind of just not the point, right? And I get that during the contest, if y'all don't do the contest and you don't follow the drama, and I try very hard not to, but But the reason why I'm talking about this now is because I keep on getting questioned and dragged into it, just because it's my fault. Because I made a couple of snarky comments, and they're just supposed to be sarcastic and short, but instead people kind of, I don't know, they think I'm a hypocrite because I was just being snarky instead of like, you know, but which happens sometimes, and that's my fault. But the truth is, like, yeah, I always said what I said, which is that it doesn't matter what I feel, just convince Leetcode, you know, like. But I would say that, you know, if you're doing bad math, you know, maybe learn to take criticism, you know, like, I don't think I was being harsh, but you know, if my comments don't have points, then you can point them out how it could be wrong, instead of saying this is obvious. Well, if it was obvious, I would have just said it was obvious, and I wouldn't have made a comment on it. It's clearly not. And people do this thing a lot where correlation is not causation, right? And just because something, you know, there's a lot of coincidences in the world, and not to say that, you know, this is an absolute defense. You know, I'm just saying that happens a lot in real life. And the case that I bring up a lot is that if you know what you like, so there is a thing where, okay, so there is this statistical, it's not a bias, just what's it called, like it's a logical statistical logical error, right? Where, okay, let's say let's say, you know, we're in a small town, or it doesn't matter, let's say we're in a town, there's someone has like I don't know, a funky fingerprint or something, right? Or I don't know, has a funky attribute that happens only, that has that can only happen by chance, or okay, let's say there's a town of 10 how do I say it? Okay, sorry, let me try again. So, you know, for example, one of these errors, and this happens a lot in court cases, and I don't know, I don't talk about this very much, but I actually follow politics and court things and like this a lot. I mean, obviously this is not the point of the channel, which is why I don't talk about it. But the thing is that, for example, and this used to happen a lot in court, which is why it's really bad, right? Like bad math really hurts people and real victims, right? Which is that, and I'm kind of, like I'm saying, I'm kind of like, you know, hand wavy some of the details. But for example, let's say that someone has a, I don't know, like let's say you test for DNA and there's this thing that happens that 1 in 1 million people have it, right? Well, what does that mean? That means that, okay, let's say you know, that means that, okay, let's say I'm going to court because my DNA or whatever attribute matches this 1 to a million thing. Well, then the argument that a lot of people and prosecutors in the past would make is that, hey, this person must be it because there's only a 1 in a million chance that this person is there by luck or whatever, right? Like that means that, like, you know, this person matches the attribute, so it's a 1 in a million thing, right? So of course that means that, like, that person must have done it, right? But it turns out, I mean, that is technically true if you gather up 1 million people and randomly chose one, and that happens to be true. But that's not how real life works, right? What happens is that, let's say you have a city of 10 million people, so 10 people have this attribute, right? Then now, the police or whomever gathers up these 10 people, or just like found one of them, really. They know that there's 10 people, just choose one at random, then what are the odds that that person is the person that did the crime, right? Well, it turns out you do the math that way because they only look at those 10 people, because it's 1 in a million, there's 10 million, there's 10 people. Then the math is that, well, actually 90% of the time you're going to be wrong, right? So these kind of stats things are very easy to kind of misconstrued it in a way such that it looks obvious until you look at the procedure, the process, and everything that goes in between, right? And in this case, because well, only one person can do it, there's 1 in a million chance. But the other way to look at it is that we took 10 people that could have done it. Only one of them could have done it. So that means that 9 out of 10 times you're picking the wrong person, right? So processes matter, stats can lie, and you just have to really understand a lot of these things, right? So that's one. And when you do bad stats, people will call it out. And it's just like, if someone can look at your number, your metric or your stats and just have like 5 things for it, you can prove it by saying that, oh, but these are other cases that could be right. Like they don't counter out. That's not how argument or logical argument, I guess a lot of people appeal to emotions, so it doesn't matter anyway. But for logical arguments, you can say that, if you're wrong, then I'm like, if both, like you could both be wrong, right? Like you can't disprove, you can't, like if I'm saying something is not, something that you're saying is not true, and you say something that I'm saying is not true, that doesn't mean that what you're saying is true, right? I mean, I think that's obvious, but that's how people kind of did it in the comments and stuff, right? They're like, oh, but can you imagine these scenarios? It's like, yes, but the burden, that's not how proving things work. You don't prove things by just like randomly saying that, oh, it doesn't make sense if they didn't do it or something, right? Anyway, I mean, in a lot of cases, like, it doesn't have to be defense for me. The facts will come out, like, I think the other component of this is that, like, I'm not really in a rush. I don't know why people are in such a rush to kind of convince everyone that, like, oh, this is urgent, we have to figure out today. Like, yeah, is cheating a problem? Yes, of course. I mean, I don't think anyone debates this, but also, like, it's okay to be a little, like, the things, the chips will fall where they are, I don't, like, it's not that urgent of a thing, like I wouldn't say it's a victimless crime or whatever, but it's also like not that big of a deal. Like you could wait a month for it to be solved if it needs to. It doesn't, like, what why are you so, what kind of hurry are you in? And that's how I feel about it. It's that right now, this when I made the comment anyway, right now I don't, there's not sufficient evidence, right? Like, and that's fine. I could be wrong and you could be right, but that doesn't mean that your argument right now is valid, right? And if the facts change, if more evidence are unearthed, then I would change my mind. But to be honest, my mind right now is not even on one way or the other. It's just that I don't care, like, it comes back to this saying that I ask a lot, right? And this is which I have in my Discord, really. How do I say it? Which is remember what you're here for. Yeah, all right. I'm not gonna put up on the screen. Remember what you're training for. Remember what you're trying to learn. You're trying to be better at problem solving. You're not trying to increase a number on a. And in this case, remember what you're here for. Remember what you're trying to learn. Remember you're not, remember why you're using Leetcode. It is not trying to figure out how to increase your rating by figuring how other people cheated. Like, I mean, like, if that's what you want to use your free time on and that's what you're spending time on, that's fine. Like, you could do whatever. But I definitely did not come to Leetcode to improve their system. They didn't pay me for this. They're not consulting me for this. My time is, I mean, like, I'm doing these videos because I enjoy doing them and I want to give some time back to people. But I'm not giving my time back to Leetcode. I'm not going to give free labor to Leetcode. And the people who do it, props to them. Mad respect for people who really try to catch these cheaters and stuff like this. Nothing but the most respect. But I personally I don't care. Look, right? Leetcode is a company. They don't need my help. I'm a reasonably good engineer. I'm not going to spend time on this. My time is worth a lot of money, it turns out, So I'm not going to spend time trying to help them catch cheaters. That's not what I care or passionate about. It is it's of the things that I am passionate about and try to change the world about. This is not one of them, And so I don't really care that much, like, and like I care enough to say Leetcode should do something about it. That's about the extent of yeah, because it is kind of like just not a good look in general. But I don't know. Anyway, I have done another 15-minute intro. My apologies if you're not here for the drama that's been going on, but I don't know. I hope that people watching this have just learned something about my philosophy on a lot of these things. Like I said, right at the end of the day, like what I said yesterday, right? You're here to learn stuff that no one can take away from you. You're waiting, like clearly people can cheat and take it away from you. I don't know. Or like or who knows? Maybe in 2 years, Leetcode doesn't exist anymore, and what does your rating do, right? I don't know. But what you took away from it is the important part, which is hopefully learning these algorithms and just learning problem solving, right? Not even just algorithms. Algorithms are just tools. I want people to learn how to problem solve. That's what I'm here trying to do, in theory. I mean, I don't know, but I do a good job of it. People, do not always agree, but that's okay. I'm just having fun here. And my sense of fun is not to catch up or to get caught up in all the Leetcode drama. So, all right. Anyway, let's take a look at today's forum. 1530. Sorry for the long intro. Number of good leaf nodes pairs. You're given the root of a binary tree and an integer distance. A pair of two different leaf nodes of a binary tree is said to be good if the length of the shortest path between them is less than or equal to the distance. Return the number of good leaf nodes pair in a tree. Okay. I mean, so the answer... Oh. Wait, what? Oh, no. Okay. For some reason, I saw 2 to the 10. I was like, this is huge. And then I just thought in my head, I was like, oh no, that's just 1,000. I guess that's just a complete tree of level 10 or whatever, right? Or 9 or something. Okay, so this, what is the thing? Distance is 3, then 3 and 4. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so again, I mean, we talk about this every day this week or something like this, maybe the last couple of days anyway, which is that the shortest path between a binary tree, there's only one shortest path. It is the only symbol path, right? And it goes through the LCA. We think we talked about this a lot. So I think based off these couple of principles, we can kind of figure it out a little bit. And then the idea here, I think, oh, okay, yeah. I think the actual node labels don't even matter that much, right? So I think you can just count the number of nodes that are distant from each number, right? I think in the worst case, this would be n squared. We don't do it that well, but no, I think we could do it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, okay. I was thinking about in my head premature optimizations, which is probably, I wouldn't say is unnecessary, but for 2 to the 10, n squared works well enough, so probably works well enough. So we wouldn't worry about that yet. But so let's get the let's get a version in first, and then we'll see. So here we might have some like traverse. We have a node, and yeah, and basically what we want to do is return a counter of depths and number of nodes, right? And then it's kind of like a merge and combine kind of thing. So yeah, right. So then here, if node is none, then we just return. I guess just collections.counter, right? Oops. And then here, yeah, I mean, I think like I said, the 2 ways to do it, but maybe it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so then now let's just say left is equal to node.left, or sorry, traverse node.left, right is equal to traverse node.right, right? And then here, and here again, I mean, you could definitely return a tuple and then just get the answer that way. And I think that's fine. But for me, I'm gonna be a little bit lazy and just use a global kind of thing. I mean, it's not really a global kind. But yeah, out of the core stack space. But yeah. I mean, definitely we don't want to do n square stuff here. That's what I'm thinking. But all right, let me just not prematurely optimize yet, or at least to show my thought process by not optimizing it. But yeah, but basically left would contain the counters, right? Distance could be, what if the distance is 1? But yeah, but here then you can imagine like for left key and left, for right key and right? So this will return ideally something between well, yeah, okay. Maybe after this, let's pass for now. And then after we do the math, we'll do something like collections. Current is equal to left plus right, maybe. I mean that makes sense, except for we have to move the distance by 1, right? I think that's the thing. Is okay. So then maybe we just like for key in. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to optimize in my head, but I mean, this is actually kind of awkward, but I think, yeah, and that's why I'm kind of, but let's stop prematurely optimize, right? But yeah, but here we want to do key plus 1 is equal to left of k plus right sub k, right? It's just so because now you're returning 1 level, so yeah, current of 0 is equal to 1, and then we can return current. And then here it is just if, so the key is going to be the depth, right? So left key plus right key is, oh, it's less than or equal to, huh? So then, yeah, okay. Yeah, then now we can increment by 1, right? Something like this. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to think about how to handle wait, did I misread this? Oh, it has to be leaf. I think I misread this a lot. Okay, let me rethink this. Okay, so that means, okay, so then we don't have to worry about this thing. So this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Okay, I think I totally did misread this actually. Or I just misread the leaf part. Well, yeah. So then now, okay, fine. So current, we do want current. That makes sense. And then here, if length of left is equal to 0 and length of right is equal to 0. That means that this is a leaf. Then here we can do current of 0 is equal to 1. Okay. I think that's okay. I don't know. Maybe this is good. Kind of getting confused. Just because of I made some modifications because I missed the leaf part. I think this makes the leaf part okay, but okay. So I got case. I did 2. Oh no, there are 3 cases. Okay, so that's good that the well, except for there's no visualization. For 5, for 6. No, this is right, I think. What do I have? I have 3, but it should be 2. Why is it 3? Dun dun dun. Well, this shouldn't be that. This is wrong. This is answer plus current of LK times current sub, well, not current, the left times RK, right? Yeah. Okay, now it's even more wrong. Okay, fine. Why? Tell me why. Is this because this is before the +1? Because, okay, yeah, okay. So I think this is because we... yeah, that's because we didn't do the +1 on this yet. So it should be this +1, this +1. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because we returned this as 0, I guess maybe you could, if you return this as 1 maybe, then this should be working, but that's a little bit awkward. But yeah, I guess that's fine too. Is this good enough to submit? Yeah, let's give it a submit. Alright, cool. Why was it so slow last time? Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, I misread this problem. I missed the leaf part, because I was worrying a lot about really expensive cases. But the number of leaves is actually not that much, so maybe that would have been okay. Because this part scares me, to be honest. This part and technically this part. I'm trying to think what the worst case is. And also, like, why did this take so slow last time? Man, I did some crazy stuff last time though. With DP. Oh. What is the complexity here? To be honest, it's not really clear to me. I mean, some of it is because I also don't bound this. Because distance is less than or greater than 10, so you can maybe do some maths here, right? The reason is because then now you could cap this and this by distance, right? Because obviously if, you know, or we could even just cap it. I mean, there are a lot of things you can do, but let's just like mentally cap this by 10, and this by 10, then that means that that's just going to be 100. So it's like it ends up being like a function of distance as well, right? So here we do a traversal. This makes it kind of, like I said, let's say d is the distance, right? Then this is going to be O of n times d, just because this is O of d and this is d squared. So O of n d squared, which is fine, I suppose. but it is still very awkward. But you have to prove that brown, which I guess is okay. I mean, you have to add that thing to prove. But yeah, like and maybe it's just as easy as like it's K. And you could probably loop this in a better way such that we can early terminate. But yeah, if K plus 1 is less than distance or something, right? That should be slightly faster, unless it's the wrong answer because I am off by 1. Which apparently I am. Whoops. But we're just playing around here, so it's fine. I mean, I'm curious. Okay. Huh. Why is that? I mean, I guess we can go the other way, but actually, yeah, maybe. Okay, well, why can't we terminate this? That's wild. Because I don't get why this doesn't work. I mean, does this ever work? Huh. I mean, okay, so, well, I mean, this is just doubling the distance at this point. So it's still nice, it's still a little bit faster, but, huh. Why? I'm actually surprised. I'm not quite sure I understand why that, like, this doesn't work. Or at least just this. Because then current of it's going to be K plus 1. And that's going to be greater than distance anyway. I don't get it. Yeah, why doesn't this work? I don't get it. I mean, I guess I can look at that test case and figure it out, but I'm just a little bit... Anyway, I mean, that's not a necessary optimization, so I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for today. It's a long problem, long video. Gonna take a nap. Thanks for watching. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye-bye.